Portable space. The group favorite milk bag brings the whole family to open and hang. Chapter 1, Little Girl Picking Mushrooms. Chapter 1, The Little Girl Picking Mushrooms. The pungent aroma hits. There was a rough hand, kneading her face, and then all the way down, touching and pinching unscrupulously. The voice next to my ear is very disgusting, the skin color is not bad, and the length is not bad. Ouch, this figure is not good. When he grows up, he will be a short lump, no chest and no waist. This kind of selling not worth the price, not worth the money, not worth the money. You are worthless. Also, I obviously have breasts. Even if it's small, it's still a chest. Tang Shihua's mind was still in a daze, and he tried hard to make a sound of protest, but he couldn't even move a fingertip. The old lady said flatteringly, "But this girl looks good. Look at this tender skin, it's like a piece of water tofu. Follow my eldest daughter-in-law, she must be a beauty when she grows up. You keep raising the price, go up again. I can't get promoted. It means that our building is generous. If you want to sell it to a dental firm, it will only cost you 2 taels of silver. I only gave a little more because I saw the poor child. 5 taels of silver is as good as the sky." Ouch! The old lady said, "Isn't it just that the child is pitiful? This child is so small that he..." Mother! A young man cut her off. 5 taels is 5 taels. Give me the money, and you take the child away. Wait a minute. The previous voice said, "This child is not a sick child, is he? I don't want a sick child. How can it be? Our Shinbao is very smart. It's not because we are afraid of her making a fuss, so we gave her some wine to sleep so deeply. Smell the smell of it." The 3 of them kept bargaining, but no one noticed that the little doll carved with jade on the bed silently opened its eyes. Her dark eyes glanced at the old tortoise who was covered with hairpins in front of the bed. In front of her, a slender young man with a big belly was dressed in a green straight suit, with a bowed back and a flattering face, like a big praying mantis. Is this an ancient costume? Right? Tang Shihua was in a daze. What happened? Is she dreaming? She obviously worked overtime in the laboratory for 2 consecutive months, and the experiment of the new drug was finally successful. She was also very tired, and fell asleep as soon as she lay down on the ground. Why did she come to such a place when she opened her eyes? Besides, why is this inexplicably familiar? The 3 people in front of the bed, while talking, went to the main room, and the voice was still faintly coming. Looking at the lush wall, carved windows, and mahogany box with copper buckles in front of him. It took Tang Shihua 3 minutes to barely find Bei. So, she time-traveled. Dressed as a 3-year-old farm baby? Or a fool who couldn't speak, laugh, or walk since he was a child? At this moment, the mother-in-law Lu and the younger uncle Tang Sanshui of this body are quietly dismissing Defang's family, discussing secretly to sell her. Or sell it to that pickled place. Tang Shihua woke up with a jolt. Seeing that they have almost reached an agreement on the price, if they don't think about it, they will really be taken away. A good girl doesn't suffer from immediate disadvantages. Tang Shijin made a decisive decision, tried his best to prop up his small body, and prepared to escape. Her little arms and legs, which she hadn't used since she was born, were as soft as dough. She exhausted all her breastfeeding strength, and it took more than a minute for the turtle to turn over. Then she lay on the bed and shook it vigorously. With 2 calves, hey yo shook for a long time before his feet finally touched the ground. She didn't dare to delay, leaning on the wall, staggered out the door of the Westinghouse. The door of the main room was open, facing the gate of the courtyard. Nai Tuanzi didn't dare to go out, so she turned around resolutely, leaning on the wall and walked back. Then she searched back and forth, and found a bigger hole in the fence. Landing on all 4s with no integrity, they are about to drill out. The small body was half drilled, but suddenly saw a small piece of something in front of her eyes, and her eyes froze. Isn't this, what is that? She was taken aback. She, a dignified botanist and pharmacy double master, actually forgot what the mushroom on the roadside is called. There is only one extremely magical song, echoing in the 3-year-old's memory-deficient, slow-moving mind, red umbrellas, white poles, after eating, sleep on the coffin, and then bury the mountain together mountain. A few minutes later, the milk dumpling covered in dirt sneaked around from behind. She silently groped into the stove, and quietly threw the beautiful little mushrooms in her hand into the kettle. She blew on her little hands that were sore from the heat, and didn't dare to go back to the west room, so she squatted in a corner and waited silently. The next moment, Mrs. Lu came out with a big kettle and went in with a smile, "Drink tea, drink tea." Grandma Turtle took a sip of tea slowly. The taste was weird. She grinned, thinking that after all, it is a rural place, and there is no good tea. While saying, "Then it's settled, 6 taels of silver, you can make your fingerprints here." Okay, the young man read the deed carefully, and then motioned for the old woman to press her fingerprints, and said again, "You bought the person, why don't you go out?" "Don't worry," the old turtle lady said with contempt in her heart, "I won't ask her to show up until I buy it back, and I won't ask her to show up before Gigi. Besides, those who enter our building, the King of Heaven and I will not go back." She was about to put away the deed, but at the next moment, her eyes blurred, and the deed slowly floated to the ground. At this time, Tang Sanshui suddenly stood up unsteadily. Then he suddenly lay down on the ground, kicked his hands and feet into the air, and let out a baby cry of, "Wow, wow." The old tortoise also stood up unsteadily, reached out to hug the baby on the ground, and muttered to herself, "My heart, I will take you to live a good life." The two came out in a tightly hugged ball, staggered forward, broke through the fence with a crash, then rolled all the way to the road, and stood up again hugging each other. The villagers passing by were stunned. This is too indecent. Especially that old lady, her face is as wrinkled as walnut skin, she is older than old Lady Lu. Just like this, they can't stop eating each other. This is how multi-mouthed. After a long while, the people watching came back to their senses, and came over in a hurry to call out, "Mrs. Lu! Mrs. Lu! Your family, Tang Sanshui, why are you hugging an old lady to eat on the street?" Before he finished speaking, he saw Mrs. Lu rushing out like an arrow flying from the string. She knelt down towards the big locust tree not far away, and kowtowed repeatedly, "Yan Wangye. Yan Wangye. Please forgive me. I don't dare to beat that dead girl anymore, I don't dare to scold her anymore, I no longer dare to skimp on her food, I no longer dare to sell her. Ah!" Her scream pierced the sky, "Help me. Don't drag me into the frying pan. I don't dare to treat Shinbao harshly again. Lord Yama, please forgive me." The voice was extremely shrill. All the idlers in the village were called out by her, and the spectators were divided into 2 groups, both of which were extremely exciting, and the people who watched them exclaimed again and again, their eyes were not enough, and some people stood on the roof of the house, turning his head back and forth, thinking about watching the excitement on both sides together. In the chaos, no one noticed that in the courtyard of the Tang family, Nai Tuanzi slowly came out from the corner, picked up a money bag hanging on the fence, and took out the money and notes very naturally, hiding them put it in the belly pocket, and slowly entered the main room, picked up the 6 taels of silver on the table and put it in the belly pocket. Then she rolled up the money bag and stuffed it into the stove hole, destroying the corpse and destroying the traces. The series of actions were completely instinctive and did not require thinking. Nai Tuanzi, who successfully cleaned the battlefield, turned around and inspected the country. No, the main room, and then she noticed something keenly. With her short legs, she climbed onto the Grand Master's chair and then the shrine, taking the spiritual seat away with both hands, and put the broken silver underneath into the belly pocket. Suddenly someone outside shouted, "Is anyone there? Is anyone there?" and walked in. End of this chapter. Portable space. The group favorite milk bag brings the whole family to open and hang. Chapter 2, She is me and I am her. Chapter 2, She is me and I am her. Nai Tuanzi showed the rare agility of short legs, quickly climbed down from the chair of the master, and stayed away from the scene of the crime, with an innocent face. But the man yelled twice, and left without hearing a response. Nai Tuanzi left the main room with decisive steps, hiding her achievements and fame. The first one to win the letter was Goro Lulang from Dafang. Everyone in the Tang family is diligent. Goro and Lulang are twins. They are only 6 years old. They go up to the mountain to pick wild vegetables every day. As a result, they are busy when they see a kid rushing over, Tang Wu Tang Lu. It's not good. No. Alright. Your grandma and your uncle are crazy. The twins were startled and asked in unison, what about my sister? Your sister has never heard of it, but your grandma. Before the words were finished, the twins were already running down the mountain like flying, and all the wild vegetables in the basket fell all the way. The twins are used to being wild on the mountain, and their speed is very fast. When they came back, both sides were still bustling. The twins didn't even look at it, and rushed straight into the house, and rushed into the west room. Trembling, Xinbao. Xinbao. Where are you, Xinbao? Nai Tuanzi, who was sitting by the vegetable field in the back, raised his head when he heard the sound. Tears were still streaming down his face. She clearly remembered that she was a very powerful boss, but after time traveling, her brain became stupid. She found that it might be because of this body that she had never spoken or moved in the past 3 years, so when she first woke up, she was like an old cow pulling a broken cart, her legs kept tripping over each other, her brain was also running slowly, and her timing was out of sync. Ling, even seeing such a common mushroom as hand green, she didn't remember the name just now. Boom, this kind of low-level mistake is simply unforgivable for the of learning. At this time, the twins have already turned around like the wind. They rushed to the back, and when they saw Nai Tuanzi, they breathed a sigh of relief, and said in unison, Xinbao. They rushed over to pick up their younger sister, and when they saw her little face, they were furious, Xinbao. Why are you crying? Who bullied you? Nai Tuanzi shook her little head, her little tongue, which she had never used before, hadn't returned to normal function, and she couldn't speak clearly. Yes, Xinbao has become a fool, she muttered sadly, Xinbao has become a fool only. 2 little ones. But, you seem to be originally, 2. Etc. The twins said in unison again, Xinbao. You can talk. The two were pleasantly surprised, ah. Xinbao, you can talk. For skinny little arms embraced her as if they were flying, and her 2 small faces pressed close together. Xinbao, say one more word. Nai Duanzi was confused by their enthusiasm. Yes. Ah. The 2 whistlers screamed together, and then said in unison, she's calling me brother. Said in unison, she is calling me. Xinbao screams again. Of? Xinbao, why are you so powerful? Xinbao is so smart. He will call you brother. Right. When Nai Tuanzi heard the familiar praise, she immediately regained her confidence, and raised her head proudly. That's right. I'm just so tired. Not long after, Tang Qingshan and Lin Nyangzi hurried back. Once they entered the village, everyone rushed to learn from them what happened at that time. Tang Qingshan's family has heard some information from the informant, and they know that they have eaten toadstools and become confused. But Tang Sanshue is okay to say, what happened to Mrs. Lu? Is it true that she said she beat and scolded Xinbao and withheld her meals? What does it mean to sell her? The one hugging Tang Sanshue is said to be the tortoise woman recruited by the red sleeves in the town, so. Miss Lin couldn't believe that her mother-in-law could be so conscientious. Their big family is raised by their big house. Why didn't they earn the food and drink, and they sold her daughter in the end? The faces of several people were all dark. As soon as they entered the village, Mrs. Lin and her sons ran straight home. Tang Qingshan hesitated for a while, but went to the village doctor first. Miss Lin was full of anxiety, but as soon as she entered the door, she smelled a fragrance. Miss Lin paused. Tang San asked anxiously, is Xinbao okay? It's okay. Brother Wu responded from the kitchen, Xinbao is fine. It can't be better. Miss Lin didn't have time to ask any more questions, so she rushed to the Westinghouse first. Brother Tang was weak and couldn't even walk fast, so he followed slowly, asking, what are you doing? Cook. Xiao Wuge is only 6 years old, and he is very proficient in the work under the stove. I made wild vegetables and scrambled eggs. Let's eat quickly. Brother Tang was a little surprised, do you dare to touch the eggs? Are you afraid that Grandma will come back and beat you to death? It's okay. Let's celebrate. Brother Wu smirked, "You haven't seen her go crazy. I threw all the egg skins at the door of the main room, and then I will say that she threw it herself when she went crazy. She be sure." Brother Tang gave a thumbs up, and was about to ask what to celebrate, but suddenly heard Lady Lin cry. Brother Tang was startled, and quickly stepped in. In the room, Nai Tuanzi was hugged by several people, and Mrs. Lin cried and laughed, "Xinbao. Xinbao. Mother's sweetheart." Nai Tuanzi stretched out by Xingxing's little hand, touched her face, and tried to comfort her. "On Yang. Brother Tang San is a tough guy, and he always loves this younger sister the most," trying to squeeze his big face over. "Xinbao, look at me, I am the third brother, and my name is the third brother. Nai Tuanzi is serious, mountain." Brother Tang San laughed all over his face, and hurriedly agreed, "Hey." He couldn't help it, grabbed the milk dumpling into his arms with one hand, and hugged her in circles. "Ah, why is my sister so cute? My sister is just cute." He babbled to confuse her, "My sister is really fragrant and soft. She is beautiful and cute. My sister is the cutest in the world." Brother Tang couldn't help blocking his face. "Xinbao is a little girl. What a blind kiss." He forcibly snatched it over, seeing Xiaochuanzi's softness, staring at him with wide eyes, couldn't help but kiss him too. "Xinbao is so beautiful. Xinbao is so cute, big brother is so rare." Xiaochuanzi was an obedient grandma, letting them hug her back and forth, smiling with big eyes. Seeing her family members, her memory gradually became clearer. No wonder she feels familiar. It turns out that she is her. She has been having the same dream since 3 years ago. In the dream, she is this little doll, born and grown up. She is obviously a sick child who sleeps every day and rarely wakes up, but her family still holds her in their hands and it hurts like a jewel. Hearing them call Xinbao, even her dreams are sweet. She never thought that one day her dream would come true. For them, she didn't feel a pity to give up all the achievements and glory in modern times. Several people fought and hugged each other for a long time, fearing that Xiaochuanzi would be hungry, so the family hurriedly ate their meals. The eggs were steamed by Brother Wu, so they added a little salt. The steamed eggs were a bit old, but the milk dumplings were hungry, and they squinted their eyes when they ate them. "It's delicious." Ms. Lin was so cute that she hugged her daughter and rubbed her face, but after thinking about it again, she couldn't help but sink her face. "Xinbao is weak, can't swallow well, and can't eat anything else. She steams an egg for her daughter every day before going out to work, but my daughter is so happy to eat a steamed egg. Who eats the usual eggs inside? Can Tang Sanshue really be so shameless, grabbing food from a milk doll?" At this moment, the little fifth brother also remembered, took the deed from the main room, and showed it to the second brother Tang. "Look, what is this?" Brother Tang took it over and took a look, his face turned dark. Mrs. Lin was not very literate, so she came over to take a look, and saw that the name of Hongxiu Zhao on the top was clearly marked as the eldest daughter of the Tang family. Trembling with anger, "This old woman. How dare she? I'm going to go tear her up." She stood up abruptly. End of this chapter. Portable space. The group favorite milk bag brings the whole family to open and hang. Chapter 3. It is absolutely unacceptable to harm my daughter. Chapter 3. Harm to my daughter must not be tolerated. Tang couldn't help but sneered. "This is the salary of my father and elder brother. My father came back yesterday, and when my father said that he would take my sister for treatment, I saw my uncle and grandma whispering." Mrs. Lin gritted her teeth and said bitterly, "A bunch of beasts. You two are not good things. Not to mention sucking blood on our bodies, you even want to swallow our bones. Your father and elder brother have been working hard for more than a year. The salary has just been received. She has already planned it. Shameless." Her eyes were red with hatred. "Last night, I heard that she asked your father for money, scolding the world, thinking that we shouldn't take Xinbao to treat illnesses. I resisted saying it, and wanted to give her some money. Just give a few, offend her, I'm afraid she will treat Xinbao harshly. I never thought that this old woman would be so greedy, and she would have such vicious thoughts. Sell her granddaughter to a brothel. Anyone who has a human touch, yes, you can't do such a heartless thing. Ms. Lin was never in front of her children, and said something wrong with her elders, but this time she was really angry. In the eyes of Mrs. Lu, Tang Sanshui is a treasure, and Dafang is even worse than grass. The big house asked her to work hard every day, and the whole family was exhausted, and they still couldn't eat enough or wear warm clothes. The whole family refrained from talking, just wanted to save some good money, and to raise the little girl. She was able to. It's so big, how many bites can she eat? Just this can hinder the eyes of the dead old woman. Not only did he want to steal Dafang's hard-earned money, but he also wanted to kill Xinbao so he could monopolize it. Miss Lin hated more and more. Let's go. Let's go find your father. There is no end to this matter today. The whole family rushed to the village doctor. Yutong village is quite big, and the village doctor's medical skills are also good. At this moment, Mrs. Lu, Tang Qingshan and Mrs. Gui were all made to vomit, pouring water over and over again, tossing to death. As soon as Mrs. Lin left, she put the deed into Tang Qingshan's hand, and said angrily, "The master. Take a look." The people around said one after another, "Miss Lin, what's the matter?" Ms. Lin pulled her sleeves, covered her face and began to cry, "Fellow folks, please judge us. She pointed at Mrs. Lu, "She has no conscience. She actually sold my daughter to such a dirty place. A kidnapper would not be able to do such a virtuous thing. She is the child's own grandmother. This is really worse than the enemies. How about, poor my Xinbei is only 3 years old. She was born beautiful, and when she cried, it made others feel sad. In Manswanger, no one knows that our eldest house is the donkey of their old Tang family. Donkeys don't even grind like this. My Wulang Lulang, since from the age of 4, when the road was not stable, he went up the mountain to pick wild vegetables, and raised the 2 of them. Then Tang Sanshui, a man in his 20s, lay on the bed with a big belly every day, waiting to open his mouth to eat. Did we ever say half a word? This is not an exaggeration at all. Everyone in the village doesn't know that Tang Sanshui is a living ancestor. He said he was sick, but I didn't see what happened to him. As soon as Tang Sanshui was mentioned, Mrs. Lu became anxious. She didn't know where the strength came from, so she stood up abruptly. I'm doing it for your own good. That child is a broom star. Since she was born, she has been treated time and time again, spending money at the price of money. Go out, with so much money, even a golden doll can come out. I sold her, so you can relax. I am doing this for you. Mrs. Lin was extremely disgusted. I have lived for 30 years, and I have never heard of a child who died of illness, but I will sell it. Your Tang Sanshui is also sick and costs money. Why don't you sell your Tang Sanshui? My Xinbao spent all the money we earned. What about your Tang Sanshui? It all sucked the blood of our wife. Mrs. Lu stared and said confidently, our Sanshui is a male. That is the root of our old Tang family. Qing Shan. That is your real brother. You are the brother-in-law's foster brother. This is not a proper one. Ms. Lin said bitterly, don't say it's my brother, even if it's my ancestor, our family treats him enough. Enough. She gritted her teeth and burst into tears. Fellow folks, the head of our family is a kind person, and we never mention some things, but I didn't expect that they would dare to pretend to be foolish. When we were in Fucheng, we also made a lot of money. Everyone knows. If Tang Sanshui hadn't competed with others for prostitutes and offended the nobleman, we wouldn't have had the shop smashed up and had nowhere to ask. It was in vain, and my body was injured, and I haven't recovered yet. As soon as these words were said, everyone immediately boomed, and the voice of discussion exploded. Everyone knew that Tang Qingshan was doing business in Fucheng. Tang Qingshan is indeed a kind person. He never forgets his fellow villagers when he is rich. He even donated money to the Tang family to build an ancestral hall and plant trees. No one in the village remembers his affection. Later Tang Sanshui urged Mrs. Lu to join them, and everyone envied them very much, thinking that they would enjoy a happy life. Unexpectedly, in less than half a year, the family returned to Yutong village in disgrace. Everyone just thought that the business failed, so they didn't ask too many questions. Didn't expect Tang Sanshui to offend someone. Is it still to fight for prostitutes? This is not to mention his own brother, even his own son. He is really benevolent and righteous, as Mrs. Lin said, enough is enough. Tang Sanshui seemed to be dead. Without saying a word, only Mrs. Lu continued to charge forward. You nonsense. Stop making up my Sanshui. Ms. Lin completely tore her face apart. Is it nonsense? You understand it in your heart. Granny Lu choked, and immediately said to Tang Qingshan, look at your wife. You just watch your wife torture me like this. I'm your mother. You think I'm old. I'm getting in the way, ouch, unfilial son. She skillfully sat down on the ground, patted her thigh and cried, why didn't I die early? Why didn't I die, old man? You kicked your legs and walked away early. Why didn't you take me with you? Well, my son was raised in vain, everyone is looking forward to my death, I am dead. She was pulling her throat, feeling weak, but still crying in a cadence. Miss Lin sneered again and again. This old woman, who comes here every so often, is just bullying Tang Qingshan's filial piety. She wanted to see how Tang Qingshan would choose this time. If he dares to choose his vicious mother again, then let's make peace. She took her sweetheart back to her mother's house. Tang Qingshan's face turned pale, and he stood up slowly. Xinbao was in Tang Dalong's arms, looking at him with a pair of black eyes. Tang Qingshan has always been cold and indifferent, everyone in the family thought he didn't love her very much, but in fact, only she knew that his father was just not good at expressing. When no one was around, he would often talk to her and smile at her, without turning his eyes. He stared at her for a long time, his eyes were so gentle. She likes daddy very much. So she bent her eyes and smiled at him, darling, darling. Tang Qingshan was heartbroken when he was laughed at by the little girl, and finally made up his mind, mother, Sanshui committed a crime back then. I almost couldn't save him from the beating. No matter how much brotherhood we have, it's worth it. For so many years, our eldest family has been raising him, how much money was spent, and never complained. I don't owe him anything. You love Tang Sanshui, and I love my daughter. You sell my daughter, and you sell it for that kind of money place. I can't tolerate this matter, I can't live on, so why don't we split up? Grandma Lu screamed and threw herself on Tang Qingshan, tearing and beating her like a living ghost. End of this chapter. Portable space. The group favorite milk bag brings the whole family to open and hang. Chapter 4, A Nest of White-Eyed Wolves. Chapter 4, A Nest of White-Eyed Wolves. Tang Qingshan let her beat him, with his usual expressionless face, he bowed his hands to others. Old Uncle Zhu, please help me to invite the patriarch. Tang Lao Zhu responded and went. Grandma Lu was furious, jumped half a foot high, howled and beat him for a long time, but he didn't respond. Grandma Lu lost her strength from the beating, sat on the ground and cried for a long while, but Tang Qingshan ignored her, and Granny Lu finally got scared. She knew this son. Tang Qingshan is a taciturn person, he can't get a fart out of 3 sticks, and he is usually the most filial, and he endures no matter how difficult it is, but once he makes up his mind, he is a stubborn donkey, and he will not look back when he hits the south wall. But old man Tang died a long time ago. The 3 sons in the family, Tang went out a few years ago, and there is no news so far. Mrs. Lu was so anxious that she couldn't stop crying, and suddenly remembered something. Qingshan, you shouldn't blame mother, mother is really for you, that child Xinbao is really a funeral star. Look at your Erlang, an accident happened, and Shiro also had an accident, it was all Xianbao's fault. Why can't you figure this out? In the past few years, Tang Erlang and Tang Xilang had accidents one after another, sick and lame, and even the surrounding villagers talked about it twice, but Mrs. Lu, the pro-grandmother, did not put this crime until this time. Come to think of it, how little they are taken seriously. Brother Tang sneered again and again, and said loudly, yes. I also feel that there is a dead star in the family. First, my father had an accident in Fucheng, then my mother had a miscarriage and my younger sister was ill, and then my 4th brother and I also had accidents one after another. Everyone said, tell me who this mourner is. Granny Lu choked violently. Mrs. Lin also said loudly, I can't survive these days anyway. Our family has nothing to do with nothing, but we have raised a nest of white-eyed wolves. I'm afraid. I'm really afraid that one day I won't come back in time, my daughter will be murdered. I will stop talking here today, or the family will be separated, or, She sneered, looked at Mrs. Lu, and said word by word, Tang Sanshui committed a crime back then, but the case in Fuqing is still pending. You don't want to separate the family? Okay. If you don't separate the family, I will go to Fuqing to surrender, and the whole family will be together. Just die. Mrs. Lu trembled in fright, and looked at her with straight eyes, You, how dare you? Ms. Lin sneered and said, I dare you to try. Mrs. Lu was really anxious, and she really regretted it, isn't it just a worthless girl's film? Ms. Lin said solemnly, That's my heart. You gouged out my heart, and you still want us to continue to support you, don't mention it. Mrs. Lu thought of Defang's love for Xinbao, and immediately became dumb. Tang Sanshui, who had been pretending to be dead, straightened up anxiously. He only wanted to sell the burden of Xinbao, but he never thought of driving away Defang. He can't do anything, and without a big house, tell him to eat and drink whatever he wants. He is still dreaming of the big house to concentrate on supporting him alone, how can he watch them run away like this? He said anxiously, Mom. As soon as he made a sound, Xinbao shivered. This is completely an instinctive reaction of the body. This Tang Sanshui is really not a thing, every day when Mrs. Lin goes out, he comes to grab the milk dumplings food, grab it as soon as possible, and he will toss her, covering and pinching her, crossing her legs and treating her like a cat the dog stepped on it to play, and she trembled with fear when she saw him. The eldest family members of the Tang family, except for Mrs. Lin who confronted Mrs. Lu, everyone's attention was on Nai Tuanzi. As soon as she trembled, more than one person immediately asked her, Xinbao, what's wrong? Nai Tuanzi pointed at Tang Sanshui, and tried to express, he stepped on Xinbao's belly, choked his neck, Xinbao was afraid. There was a bang. The people in Defang trembled all over with anger, Tang San's eyes were red, he rushed forward, dragged Tang Sanshui over, swung it high and threw it to the ground. Third brother Tang Shichang, only 12 years old this year, is already very tall, born with great strength, grabbing Tang Sanshui is like playing with him. Tang Sanshui let out a long scream, and Mrs. Lu screamed and rushed forward. Tang Shichang was still puzzled, and wanted to fight again, but he was stopped by the villagers. Tang Shichang broke free from the villagers, kicked him twice again, and then more people came up and finally grabbed him. Amidst the chaos, Tang Qingshan looked at the talking daughter like a fool. At this moment, everyone's attention is all over there, and only the real relatives will notice that Xinbao can speak. Second brother Tang blocked Nai Tuanzi's eyes to prevent her from seeing the tyrannical situation over there, and nodded to his father. Tang Qingshan had tears in his eyes, trembling lips, and looked straight at his daughter, trying not to speak. At this time, the old patriarch hurried over. The old patriarch's family has quite a lot of sons, 4 of them, but the grandchildren have not come, and they have been looking forward to being old for many years. Until a few days ago, his daughter-in-law gave birth to a big fat grandson for their family. The old patriarch was very soft-hearted when he was in a rare moment. As a result, when he came in, he heard what the baby said. Although Xinbao is a sick child, he is really growing well. The color of her skin followed her mother's, white as if pinched by milk, with a pair of eyes under the soft fetal hair, and her small appearance is more cute than the dolls in New Year pictures. When she said this delicately, the old patriarch immediately thought of his grandson. A milk doll who won't sue when bullied, how pitiful it is. Just thinking about it made me shiver with pain. Look at Tang Sanshui who looks like a big praying mantis and eats a big belly at a young age, it's really not pleasing to the eye. Seeing that Tang Shichang was held back by the crowd, the old patriarch swung Tang Sanshui's 2 sticks with his crutches, you are really promising. Bullying a baby. I didn't. Tang Sanshui was so weak in pain that he said a few words, the old patriarch swung him a few more times, Tang Sanshui didn't dare to speak nonsense, I was just joking. The old patriarch said angrily, it's a joke of pinching the baby's neck. I really haven't seen it before. Beating him a few more sticks, Tang Sanshue was in pain, and he couldn't breathe well. Grandma Lu just got up from the ground. She became anxious when she saw it, screamed, rushed up and pushed the old patriarch away, and threw herself on Tang Sanshue. The old patriarch was getting old, he was pushed backward by her, and he was supported by his son and the villagers. The old patriarch was completely angry. I can't teach him anymore. Granny Lu cried, our Sanshue is not in good health, and we can't beat him. If we say no, why are we still doing it? A complaining tone. The old patriarch stroked his chest angrily, and since he didn't want to quarrel with an old woman, he said directly to everyone, our old Tang family has never had such a vicious woman in 8 lifetimes. Selling our granddaughter to a brothel. Don't call yourself devoid of conscience. This is the heart of snakes and scorpions. Wolf heart and dog lungs. Fortunately, God opened his eyes and didn't tell you to do things well, otherwise, how can the women of our Yutang village go out to meet people? How can girls get married? Generations of ancestors, you've lost all your face. When he said this, the villagers also realized the seriousness of the matter and accused her one after another. The old patriarch continued, this is not a trivial matter. I don't dare to let it go easily. Otherwise, I will have no face to meet my ancestors. Today, I will make the decision and divorce you, a viper-hearted poisonous woman, for Tang Monsang. Everyone roared. End of this chapter. Portable space, the group favorite milk bag brings the whole family to open and hang. Chapter 5, serve you 8 meals a day. Chapter 5, serving you 8 meals a day. Mrs. Lu was so dumbfounded, she forgot to cry. She never thought it could be so serious. Isn't it just selling a girl's film? Miss Lin was full of joy. The result was even better than she imagined. The old patriarch looked back, and saw Nai Tuanzi staring at him with big dark eyes. The old patriarch puffed up his chest, and felt that the responsibility was on his shoulders, and he must not let down the trust of Xiao Nai Tuanzi. He then said in a deep voice, Tang Sanshue is conspiring with you, but he is a male after all, so I will not report to the police. He pondered for a while, since you two have a deep love between mother and child, let him go with you. What? Several clan elders could not help but look at each other. They have no objection to the treatment of Mrs. Lu, but they feel a little heavy on the treatment of Tang Sanshue. This is a male. Then one person stepped forward and said, isn't this appropriate? Get rid of that poisonous woman and just call Qingshan the head of the house. What? Ms. Lin was in a hurry immediately. Poor and bankrupt, the owner of the fart. Isn't that just being taken advantage of, and having to support the scourge of the second wife and Tang Sanshue for nothing? Besides, even if the Tang family divorced Mrs. Lu, she would still be her own mother. Tang Qingshan didn't care about the door-to-door visit, he wanted to poke someone's back. Isn't the tossing for a long time in vain? Ms. Lin was so anxious that she couldn't interrupt, watching several clan elders discussing. Tang Sanshue also secretly heaved a sigh of relief, and continued to moan and pretend to be dead, not at all trying to help his mother, anyway, as long as he lives as usual. Xinbao looked around with eyes, and saw the second brother Tang Shirong walking over quietly, and whispered something to the third brother Tang Shichang. Tang Shichang always put all his thoughts on his face, but when he heard this, his anger immediately subsided. He walked over with a friendly smile, lifted Tang Sanshue up like a chicken, and whispered, finally I have you in my hands. Don't worry, I will serve you 8 times a day, try to get you promoted and get rich as soon as possible. Tang Sanshue's face was green at that time. No matter how stupid he is, he still knows that serving 8 meals a day is not food. What he said about getting promoted and making a fortune is a coffin. If Tang Shirong said this, he might not believe it, but Tang Shichang is a fool with no brains, what he said is definitely the truth. Tang Sanshue sat up in shock from dying, and howled, Patriarch. The old patriarch was startled by him, and turned his head sharply. Tang Shichang quickly let go of his hand. Tang Sanshue was thrown to the ground, still crawled 2 steps towards the old patriarch, trembling with fright. Tang Shichang walked away 2 steps with an innocent face. The old patriarch thought he was blind and didn't see anything, so he turned his head back again. Tang Sanshui said anxiously, "Old patriarch. I am willing to go with my mother. My mother is getting old, I am not at ease. I am willing to serve my mother. Old patriarch. Please let me follow my mother. Please. I beg you." Mr. Lu was so moved that her nose and tears flowed. "My Sanshuyer. My darling." She rushed over, and the mother and son hugged their heads and cried loudly. It should have been a miserable situation, but everyone couldn't help but think of the shameful scene during the day. Their eyes hurt, they all turned their faces away, and some couldn't help but spit. Because I really can't feel sympathy, everyone's minds are extra clear. Just now when the old patriarch spoke, Tang Sanshui didn't fart, but when Tang Shichang went over and said, Tang Sanshui became a filial son when he was frightened. No matter how you look at it, filial piety is not very real. That is, Mrs. Lu has a mother-in-law filter and can't see it. Everyone else sees it as a thief, and they all think they are clear by themselves. All kinds of pointers and crazy disclosures. The old patriarch also snorted coldly, and quietly said to several clan elders, "This Tang Sanshui has no feelings for his mother, brother, elder niece, so it can be seen that he is a black-hearted and ungrateful person. I really dare not keep him in the clan. I'm afraid that something big will happen again." The elders of the clans think so too. In these years, Mrs. Lu almost gave her heart to him. The Tang family went bankrupt because of him, and he owed Tang Qingshan his life. But how did he do it? Study and grind other people's daughters. Sell someone else's daughter. This is not what is revenge. He treats his family like this, how can he be expected to treat the villagers well? Besides, he is a young man in his 20s, he can't do farts, and he is not expected to be successful in the future, so what are you still doing? Is it blocking? Then several clan elders also nodded. This is the ancestral home of the Tang family. The old patriarch has a lot of authority, so he just greeted him and led people to open the ancestral hall to drive Mrs. Lu and Tang Sanshui out of the Tang family. Grandma Lu was crying, spitting and rolling, and tried her best, but the patriarch and elders were used to seeing old women slapstick, so they turned a deaf ear to each of them with rich experience, and walked slowly forward with walking sticks. Enthusiastic young men and aunts came over and dragged them over. Lady Lin heaved a sigh of relief, squinting at Tang Qingshan, thinking that he might go over to help his mother. Unexpectedly, as soon as the old patriarch left, Tang Qingshan couldn't wait to come over quickly, grabbed the girl and hugged her in his arms, with a serious expression and a low voice, "Xinbao. Xinbeier. Nai Duanzi is very understanding, pick up. Pick up." Tang Qingshan hummed in an extremely calm manner, as if he heard his daughter call him daddy 800 times a day. His back is as straight as a soldier, but the hand holding her presses her back slightly, hinting wildly. Nai Tuanzi thought this daddy was too cute, so she leaned forward obediently, spread her small arms, and put her arms around his neck. At that moment, daddy held his breath. The third brother Henin ran over and opened his hand from a long distance. "Sister, come, third brother hug." Tang Qingshan ignored his son, quickened his pace, and trotted to catch up with the patriarch and the others. When she turned around, Nai Tuanzi saw the cold father, her eyes were red and full of tears, but the corners of her mouth were bent. Her little heart also felt sour, she pursed her little mouth, and said "Chick," gave daddy a wet kiss. Daddy staggered. Seeing this, Mrs. Lin was angry, funny and moved, and followed by Tang Dalong and the others. Brother Tang is not in good health, he walks slowly, groaning all the way. Third brother Henin walked with him, feeling a little regretful, and muttered as he walked, "It's a pity that I can't beat him anymore, I've already figured out how to deal with him." Second brother Tang nodded perfunctorily, and said to himself, "Why is Tang Sanshui so scared? Why is he so scared? He is not a fool, at least he has to sell himself badly, please don't divorce his mother. Why are you so scared that you don't care about anything?" Third brother Henin didn't understand, so he said, "I'm so powerful, he must be scared. I'm strong. He can't beat me." Brother Tang. He looked at his silly brother, and gently stroked his dog's head, "You're right. The ancestral hall was opened, and soon, Posy Lu and Tang Sanshui were drawn from the Tang family tree. Because the two of them are no longer considered the Tang family, and there is no elder on their heads, the remaining two houses of the Tang family will automatically become two families without dividing the family. This is called being light. Mrs. Lu's voice was completely hoarse from crying, and she rolled on the ground dozens of times, but she couldn't stop the incident. Seeing the patriarch take back the genealogy, when she turned around, she looked at Tang Qingshan with deep hatred. The people next to him were shocked in their eyes. Mrs. Lu said solemnly, "Tang Qingshan, are you still a human being? Seeing that your mother has called someone to sleep, you didn't say anything. I would rather raise you as a beast. I should have strangled you when you were born." Tang Qingshan looked up at her. Mrs. Lu's next sentence got to the point. "I tell you, everything in the house belongs to my mother. The house, land, and food are all mine. You don't want to take away half a penny. The wages you only earn, bring it to my mother. Just treat it as the rice noodles that my mother has raised you for so many years. From now on, don't call me mother again. I don't have your son. Beast." End of this chapter. Portable space. The group favorite milk bag brings the whole family to open and hang. Chapter 6, Daddy Don't Cry Don't Cry. Chapter 6 Daddy Doesn't Cry, Doesn't Cry. Miss Lin laughed heartily. Her mother-in-law is really funny. She is crazy if she is biased, and now she still thinks that Tang Qingshan owes her. Do you really think everyone has no brains? But it's okay, she said it herself, she doesn't have this son, it's not what they said. Tang Qingshan handed his daughter to Mrs. Lin, took out a money bag from his bosom, stepped forward a few steps, bent down and was about to put it on the ground, when Mrs. Lu rushed over earlier, grabbed the money bag into her hand. He said viciously, "Sooner or later, it will not be my mother's." As she said that, seeing his head lowered in front of her, Mrs. Lu felt a surge of evil thoughts in her heart, and she flew up, wanting to kick him on the head. More than one person exclaimed. Several members of the Tang family, together with Nai Tuanzi, said, "Father." Tang Qingshan backed away quickly, and glanced at her. The old woman's ferocious face hadn't faded away, but she kicked in the air, and a big split came, sat down on the ground, and yelled out loudly. "Everyone! Yo ho!" Tang Qingshan was expressionless. This kick really took away the last bit of his discomfort. Tang Qingshan knelt down without saying a word, and kowtowed a few times. Tang Dalong, Mrs. Lin, including Nai Tuanzi who was held in her arms, knelt down and kowtowed. Granny Lu is still grinning. Tang Qingshan didn't go to help her, stood up and said, "Mother and child, the trouble has become like this. I, Tang Qingshan, have a clear conscience." After saying this, he picked up the little girl and turned around. Everyone looked at his back silently, and suddenly heard Nai Tuanzi say, "Don't cry. Don't cry." She raised her little hand and wiped away her father's tears, her eyes turned red. Such a scene, on the contrary, is more heartbreaking than screaming. Tang Qingshan is such a silent tough man, what kind of pain will he shed tears? While everyone was sighing, they saw Mrs. Lu got up, took a sip on the ground, and cursed, "You son of a who died early, it's time to pretend. Giving the old lady more money is better than cats." Everyone was speechless. Grandma Lu has never regarded her eldest son as a human being, and she is unscrupulous in everything she says, but she doesn't know that at this time, she is really disgusting when others look at her. Even the old patriarch was disgusted. As he walked out, he asked the eldest son to stop them, and said to them, "Qingshan, you used to build an ancestral hall for the clan, and the clan remembers your affection. Now the clan there are still a few vacant houses in the village, barely enough to live in, you and your family choose one to live in first, but as long as I am still here, I will not drive you away, you can rest assured." Actually, Mrs. Lu and his wife are not from the Tang family anymore. It is said that the house and land belong to Tang Qingshan and Tang but the old patriarch also understands that it is impossible for Tang Qingshan to drive Mrs. Lu away. This is really a timely help. Tang Qingshan thanked you solemnly. "That's right." Immediately someone said, "I still have a pot that I don't use at home, I'll take it and you can use it first." I'll go back and get you 2 eggs, ouch, don't starve Zinbear. The Tang family's eldest family has always been very popular, and everyone surrounded them all the way. This kind of old house without an owner is generally quite dilapidated, but it can be regarded as a shelter from the wind and rain. The stove room outside this one has collapsed half, but the main house is still in good condition, and it can be lived in after cleaning. Many winking villagers immediately ran to get some brooms and other things. The Tang family thanked them and took over the cleaning. Tang is not in good health. He stood for a long time today and was too tired. He found a rock and rested with Xinbao in his arms. Ms. Lin persuaded Tang Qingshan, head of the family, if you want to open some, it's a good thing to leave that den of thieves. Our family, among other things, can at least have enough food and clothing. That's right, Brother Tang also said, Father, you'll just be this year's wages. The third brother Henin quickly answered, did you feed the dog? Brother Tang was so annoyed by him, he laughed a few times before saying, isn't it just money, as long as Xinbao is fine, it's not easy to earn money. Nai Duanzi was originally a small broken car, and she was tired all day long, she would abuse scum and eat melons, and she was about to fall asleep lying on the shoulder of her second brother, but when she heard her name, she fell asleep again. She froze her head, silver paper. Tang laughed and said, yes, Inzi, Xinbao also knows what is Inzi. A few. Nai Tuanzi nodded, Xinbao has a silver paper. Give it to me. Give it to Auntie. Give it to me. While grumbling, Xiao Nai Tuanzi sat on the second brother's lap, and lifted the small coat with both hands. Brother Tang asked, what is Xinbao going to do? Want to pee? While about to stand up and hand it to Mrs. Lin also came to pick it up. Who knew that Xinbao pulled off the gown, took out a handful of gold, silver and copper from his pocket, and put it on Mrs. Lin. Hand. The whole family was dumbfounded. After a long time, Brother Tang murmured, Xinbao, where did this come from? Nai Tuanzi talked and compared, flowers. She compared her head, indicating the hairpin flower, Grandma Hua and Uncle, go away, the money bag fell on the branch, and Xinbao took it away. She thought for a while, and then added, Grandma's hidden card is under the card, and Xinbao also took it. Family. After a while, Lady Lin burst out laughing suddenly. The trouble in the village is like this, the turtle mother-in-law has never dared to come out, even if she did come out, when the two of them rolled like that, who knows where the money bag fell? How to find it? Mrs. Lu is even more funny. She desperately wants to leave Tang Qingshan's salary for a year, but she never thought that the money hidden at home was taken by Xinbao, it's even more than that. You can't steal chickens and lose rice or something, ha ha ha, I think why do you want to be so funny? Is this the way of heaven and good reincarnation? At this moment, Mrs. Lu and his wife have just discovered that the money is gone. But when I got home, the fences in the house were down, and the doors inside and outside were wide open. Granny Lu really didn't think about Defang, she just thought that someone was taking the sheep by hand, so angry that her heart, liver and lungs hurt, and she came out with her hips on her hips to scold the street. At this time, Xiao Lu, the second daughter-in-law of the Tang family, also slowly entered Yutang village. Her man Tang went out 3 years ago, saying that he was going to do business. At first there was a letter back, but gradually there was no news. It has been 2 years without any activity. Only Xiao Lu and their daughter Zhaodi are left. Xiao Lu is a relative of Mrs. Lu. She is called aunt, and the relationship is still close. In addition, the people in the eldest house are all capable and kind. Not bad. It's just that in the first 2 days, listening to her mother-in-law and younger uncle whispering that she wanted to sell Xinbao, Xiao Lu didn't dare to offend her mother-in-law and uncle, nor did she dare to offend the big house. Rolling his eyes, he stayed for 2 days, reckoning that the matter was over, and then came back. As soon as she entered the village, a little daughter-in-law greeted her, "What are you doing?" Xiao Lu hurriedly said, "My natal family has something to do, so I will go back to live for 2 days. What? You just came back. Do you know something happened to your family? Ouch, your mother-in-law is still scolding now. Little Lu hurriedly pretended to be surprised, what happened? The young daughter-in-law's face was tender, and she opened her mouth to talk about those two lively scenes, but she felt embarrassed to say it, so she said first, "Your mother-in-law wants to sell Shinbao." End of this chapter. Portable space. The group favorite milk bag brings the whole family to open and hang. Chapter 7, if you sell it, you will count the money back to her. Chapter 7 If you sell it, you will count the money for her. When little Lu heard this, she was certain in her heart. She said to herself, it seems that her mother-in-law really did it. Shinbao's child is sick, but she looks good-looking, and if she sells it for a few taels of silver, the family can eat more meat, and even if she can't wear her clothes, those silk flowers and so on can be given to her daughter. Moreover, it's not just about this little thing, the main thing is that Shinbao is a sick child, and he spent a lot of money on treatment. As long as there is no such expense, even if most of the money earned by the big house goes into Tang Sanchue's mouth, they the second room, more or less can get some light. Little Lu thought about it, and cried, Shinbao is still a milk baby, how can mother-in-law do this? Even if my uncle is sick, I can't think of it. Who doesn't know that Defang loves that child the most? How uncomfortable this is. I heard that in those places, there are people behind them, and the thugs are like wolves. I can't afford to offend them. Stupid thing. Ouch, as long as I am at home, even if I risk my life, I have to protect Xinbei. Xiao Lu is used to this outside, all bad things are always the idea of her mother-in-law, and the mother-in-law is all for her uncle, only she is innocent and pitiful. The little daughter-in-law listened to the front, and she nodded straight at first, trying to echo a few words, but who knew that the more she listened, the more wrong she became. People these days are also blunt, so she asked her, how do you know it was sold to that kind of place? Little Lu suffocated violently. She found that she was bald, and when she hurriedly tried to describe it, the little daughter-in-law's eyes were already wrong. No wonder. No wonder, I haven't seen you back to your mother's house for many years, not on the third day of the new year. What the hell, why did you go back to your mother's house and stay overnight? I dare say that I knew your mother-in-law was going to do such a vicious thing, so I hid in advance. Xiao Lu hurriedly said, no. I'm just. She choked. The little daughter-in-law didn't listen at all, and looked her up and down. I still think you are poor, I'm blind. Dogs that can bite people don't bark. Mrs. Lin is right. After so many years of hard work, it's really a blessing. Come out with a bunch of white-eyed wolves. As long as you remember a little bit of their love for you, you shouldn't watch your mother-in-law sell other people's heart and soul. Pooh! The little daughter-in-law turned her head and left. She has to tell Mrs. Lin quickly, don't take care of her stupidly in the future, she has too many thoughts. Don't sell it and count the money back to her. Xiao Lu was also in a hurry, chased for 2 steps but didn't catch up, and didn't chase hard, thinking of words quickly in his mind, thinking that he could explain to Defang at that time, as long as Defang believed it, it didn't matter if these people gossip. Unexpectedly, after walking 2 steps, another old woman from the village saw her. The old lady didn't pay much attention to what she could say or not. When she saw that she didn't know, she just said everything. Xiao Lu was completely dumbfounded. She never expected that such a big thing would happen just because she didn't come back for 2 days. Mother-in-law and uncle were kicked out of the Tang family. Her filial uncle didn't plead for mercy. Her face turned blue and her lips turned pale for a while, and there was only one sentence in her heart, it's over, it's over, it's over. Her man has not heard from her for more than 2 years. To put it bluntly, who knows whether he is dead or alive? After this point, what does she expect to live? If it hadn't happened just now, she could still be pitiful and find a big house to help. Mrs. Lin has always been a talkative person, and her hands are loose, but now, she. Little Lu's intestines regretted for a while, and she wanted to beat her chest and stamp her feet. Why was she so negligent just now, and her mouth went bald? And over there. Ms. Lin talked with the little daughter-in-law for a while in front of the door, and after seeing her off, she sneered and said to herself, it's good. It's all torn apart, and it's easy to tear. Let's live a good life. She was really angry. She is a kind-hearted person. She really takes care of Xiao Lu a lot on weekdays, and her sisters are just like that. Even if Xiao Lu didn't dare to offend her mother-in-law, it would still be a matter of love if she secretly revealed a letter, but, she was slick, thinking about not offending her. Maybe she still plans to cry with her for a while after the matter is over, just to please her. Keep taking advantage of them. The more I think about it, the more disgusting I get. But turn around and look at home again. Although the place is shabby, the sons are all smiling, and the little 5 and the 6 are playing around. Brother Tang holds his sister on his knees with both hands, and teaches her seriously, teaching her not to steal things. Zaichuanzi opened his eyes with big eyes, sitting in his arms with a cute face, and nodding, as if he really understood. Miss Lin couldn't help laughing again. Irrelevant people, all off. She doesn't care. From now on, their family will live a good life. Miss Lin didn't care about anything, she made a lot of food for the villagers. After the family ate, they each found a place to sleep. There are no doors or windows in the side rooms on both sides, so the main room is still intact. It is not too cold or hot in August. With some grass on the floor, you can sleep without a quilt. The whole family squeezed together. Tang Qingshan and brother Tang took off their coats, covered the milk dumplings one by one, and slept on the grass all night. Wake up in the morning, the family discusses what to do. The gold and silver bills that Nai Tuanzi brought out amounted to more than 40 taels, which is actually quite a lot. But firstly, the money can only be used after a clear road, and secondly, the family has nothing, the house needs to be repaired, the doors and windows must be fixed, the couch to sleep on, pots and pans, food and clothing, all of them need to be bought. If you come down, you will get a lot of money. And Xinbao suddenly healed, so I have to find a good doctor to see if I can't save money. At home, the second brother Tang is sick, the fourth brother Tang is limping, and the fifth and sixth brothers are still young. Even Tang Qingshan and the eldest brother Tang are considered strong workers, but at this moment, the two of them really dare not leave. At the moment, I really don't know what to do. The third brother Henin took his sister out early in the morning, and at this moment, like a little doll who can just walk, he put her in one place, and then stepped back with his hands open. Xinbao, come on, slow down. Go slowly, come and find brother. Nai Duanzi thinks she can do it. Trifle. But in fact, these little soft legs are really not very useful, walking wobbly, from time to time, the left foot will trip over the right foot, the whole person is staggering. Tang's San brother will fly up, catch his sister, hold her high turning around, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Xinbao is not afraid, brother will continue. The two siblings kept laughing and joking. Nai Duanzi was held high by him, and always felt that the tree in front of her was a bit weird, looking like she was about to die. Suddenly, her heart moved, and she pointed to the tree. Yes. That. What's wrong? Tang San hugged his sister and looked at it. What? Nothing. Nai Duanzi snuggled up to her brother softly. Down, dig. Brother Tang San asked, what are you digging for? It is very difficult for Nai Tuanzi to speak long paragraphs now, and he is not sure what to say, and it is difficult to explain, so he hugged his brother's hand with both hands, and solemnly begged, dig it. Dig it down. The organization believes in you. Go Pikachu. But in the eyes of the third brother, Xiao Tuanzi was soft, holding him with small hands, his cheeks were bulging, and he was staring at him with bright eyes. Silly brother was the cute heart at that time trembling. Without saying a word, he took the and started digging. The third brother is only 12, but he is born with great strength, and a swing of his hand will cause a big hole. Nai Tuanzi, who has been with a group of gentle people who can't unscrew the bottle caps for many years, stares directly at them with bright eyes, and from time to time, wow. Also contributed the help within his ability, and clapped his hands to cheer him up. Yes, come on. You are the most tired. The third brother is even more energetic. After a while, the people in the house heard it. Mrs. Lin came out to take a look, and quickly hugged her daughter away, and patted her. Tell me about you. Is there any use for your energy? Why are you digging? Get Xinbao covered in dirt. Before finishing a sentence, the third brother yelled, Father. Father, look what this is. End of this chapter. Portable space. The group favorite milk bag brings the whole family to open and hang. Chapter 8, Immortal Fairy. Chapter 8, The Immortal God. Tang Qinshan and Tang Dalang all came over to watch. I saw a big half-yellow, not white, stubble soggy flesh in the soil pit, because the root of the tree was dead, and there was a big hole. The thing was embedded under the root of the tree, and it looked quite intact. Grandpa put his heads together and looked in amazement. What is this? It looks so alive. Nai-Duanzi struggled, and wanted to go and have a look by herself. Mrs. Lin hurriedly covered her daughter's eyes. Don't look at it, don't look at it, let's not look at it. Xinbao is not afraid, there is a mother here. While talking, he went over to take a look. Oh, what is this? It looks so disgusting, Bala. Nai-Duanzi shook his little head, but didn't shake his mother's hand away, just muttered, large slime mold complex. Ms. Lin didn't hear clearly, but she didn't dare to read any more, so she hurriedly carried her back to the house. Brother Tang San suddenly exclaimed, "Oh, Dad! Dad! Why is this thing still moving? It's alive. It won't bite, right?" He ran and jumped away. Silly son was startled. Tang Qinshan frowned and took a closer look. Seeing that the thing looked like it was alive, he was suddenly blessed. It's Tai Sui. This is Tai Sui. Second brother Tang took a few glances from a distance, and suddenly realized, that's right. This is Tai Sui. Meet Ganoderma lucidum. Nai-Duanzi was covered with eyes, listening to the voices of his father and brother outside, very proud. She knew it. There must be something good. She is famously lucky in the circle, no matter how rare a plant is, as long as it exists, as long as it is there, she will definitely be able to find it. It takes 3 to 5 months for others to find it, but it only takes 3 to 5 minutes for her to find it, so her companions joked that she was a treasure hunter, and asked her to go over mountains and mountains together every day. But she didn't think it was Tai Sui at first. Tai Sui is really famous. There is a record of Tai Sui in Shanhai Jing, which calls Tai Sui, Shiro, and Roji. Shenong's Materia Medica once said that flesh Ganoderma lucidum, non-toxic, nourishes the middle, improves essence, increases wisdom, cures knots in the chest, long-term use makes light of body and does not grow old, and so on. This thing is known as the end of food, the recovery of life as before, eating one piece after another, that is to say, if you cut off a piece, it will grow back soon, which is simply miraculous in the eyes of the ancients. So in ancient times, this was a fairy medicine exclusive to emperors, and it was claimed that taking it would make you immortal and free from all diseases. Many people say that emperors such as Yao, Shun, and you were over 100 years old because they ate this thing. The ancestor dragon Qin Shi Huang also led a group of people eastward in order to find this thing, and ordered the genius Dr. Su Fu to bring thousands of virgins. Traveling to Yingzhou eastward left behind an eternal mystery. All in all. This thing is expensive, very expensive, very expensive. Worth a lot of silver. This is really a pillow when you want to doze off, the masters are really full of energy, let's do it together. While digging, many people from the village came to inquire. After all, the Tang family is still the focus of gossip in the village at the moment. Whether it is a good intention to come to deliver some food, or a smooth running to see how their lives are going, someone will always come and hang around. As soon as I heard that Tai Sui was digging, there was a sensation in the village at that time. Everyone couldn't eat breakfast in time, and ran over to watch the excitement. It wasn't too deep at first, but it was quickly dug out and placed on the ground quite completely. Looking at a weight of 70 to 80 caddies, it looks like a piece of hard fat, and also like a slightly soft tree stump, fresh, complete and terrifying. People in the village gathered around and discussed. Many people said, "How much money will this cost? What kind of luck is this?" When the front foot moved, the back foot dug out Tai Sui. But this is not the land of the Tang family. This is the old house of the clan, and they are just borrowing it. Tang Qinshan was in a good mood at first, but after listening to the discussions of the people around him, he gradually became deep again. Although he doesn't talk much, he is a man with a plan in his heart. He knows very well that in a place like the village, there are many cases of enmity over a penny, and money touches people's hearts. Moreover, Yutong village is really poor. If food is not grown well, people will be poor, and if they are poor, they cannot be counted. Besides, what they said made sense, this place is indeed not their home. If there is going to be a dispute sooner or later, then, instead of waiting for the villagers to speak out, it is better for him to take the initiative himself. Tang Qingshan quickly made up his mind and said, "Fanner, go invite the patriarch." Brother Tang was taken aback for a moment, glanced at his father, and left without saying anything. Tang lowered his eyes, and he also thought about it in his heart, so he didn't speak. The third brother Henin just grinned and bragged to his familiar friends in the village, "My sister found it. My sister is so smart. She pointed, and I dug it out." This fool never thought about what it meant for his father to call the patriarch. Tang took a few steps towards him, thinking he had to talk to this Tai Henin first, otherwise he would jump up in a flash after talking, and the matter would not be a good one. So he said, "San Lang, Xinbao is calling you." "Huh?" The excited Tang San brother who was blowing immediately turned his head, and then jumped into the house. Tang brother glanced at the courtyard and followed inside. After a while, the old patriarch came over. These are old and mature people. No matter what they think in their hearts, they are all good-looking, and they say congratulations as soon as they come. Tang Qingshan said calmly, "Tongshi, Uncle Patriarch, I invited you here to discuss with you how to deal with this thing." "What are you discussing?" The old patriarch said, "This courtyard is given to you to live in, so it belongs to you, and the things dug out naturally belong to you." "Thank you, old uncle, for your kindness," Tang Qingshan said, "but I'm just borrowing this courtyard. This is the old courtyard of our Tang family. The ancestors of the old Tang family have accumulated virtues to have such a treasure. Born by my hand, it will naturally be handed over to the clan for disposal." The old patriarch secretly admired him. This is someone who has been around outside, and usually doesn't say a word, but when it comes to things, the scene is smooth. So he said a few more words of humility, and then he asked someone to invite the clan elders over. Tang Qingshan's foresight and insight are much better than those of these clan elders. Fei Yi seemed to tell what Tai Sui is and how precious it is. At the same time, he said, "Old patriarch, uncles, there is something that I may have thought too much, let me tell you everyone first. This thing is a rare thing, what is it called in the book? I heard that the expensive ones above people are very caring, if it gets out and the government comes to take it away, they will get promoted and get rich, but we, if it's good, we can get a plaque, if it's not good, we won't get anything." He paused for a moment, seeing that they all understood, and said again, "But our little people are really in trouble, so there is nothing we can do. So it's best to find a pharmacy and sell it quickly before the government finds out. It won't be too high, but after it's sold, it's the pharmacy's business and the higher-ups' business, so it doesn't bother us. Even if the government wants to investigate, we are ignorant ordinary people, so we don't know this thing can still be offered up, and the law does not blame the public." "Do you think so?" A few old men think so. Then a few people agreed quickly. In this village, there are more than 300 households, mainly those with the surname Tang, and there are only a few households with other surnames. There are more than 260 households with the surname Tang. Let's divide the meat. One is that I don't know how to eat it, and the other is that I don't know how long it can be stored, so I discussed and asked everyone to choose by themselves. When it is sold, the money is divided, but no one knows how much it can be sold for. It is only heard that a caddy can be sold for 12 taels. After coming out, the patriarch told people about the matter, and then asked everyone to go back to discuss it. After half an hour, they went to the threshing ground to talk about it. Everyone left in a hurry. There was only one little widow surnamed Shen, her eyes flickered, and she went to the old house of the Tang family. End of this chapter. Portable space. The group favorite milk bag brings the whole family to open and hang. Chapter 9, Panting Rotten Meat. Chapter 9, Panting Rotten Meat. Widow Chen's husband has been dead for several years, and only she and her son depend on each other for life. She is also considered pretty, and has always wanted to find a capable man to remarry, and she fell in love with Tang Qingshan when she was in the village. Calm, handsome, and knowledgeable, she will hurt people when she gets older. The more she looks at her, the more satisfied she becomes. Unexpectedly, Mrs. Lin, that little slut, looks like a fox and keeps men in control. She teased him several times, but Tang Qingshan never lifted his eyelids. She panicked with hatred in her heart, no matter how Mrs. Lin looked at her despise. When the quarrel broke out yesterday, she was secretly happy watching it, but she didn't expect that in the end, it made Mrs. Lin feel relieved. Why? Why would Mrs. Lin be able to dump her mother-in-law and her uncle in the future, and just disappear? Did you dig up such a valuable thing as soon as you moved? She had to give her some trouble. She twisted her waist and went to the old house of the Tang family. Standing at the door of the Tang family's old house, she saw no one, so she called, "Aunt Lu, is Aunt Lu at home?" Called several times, but no one answered. Widow Chen felt strange, so she walked to the door, opened the door and went in. "Aunt Lu. Little sister-in-law Lu. Are you not at home?" Grandma Lu heard the sound. Her leg was still limping when she made a big split yesterday. When she saw it was her, she said angrily, "What's the matter?" "Hey." Widow Chen thought about greeting, "Is Sanchuer better?" Mrs. Lu rolled her eyes at that time. "It's none of your business." "Are you asking?" "Let me tell you, you are a broken shoe that has been married, don't even think about hooking up with my Sanchuer. My Sanchuer, my son, is very promising and wants to marry a girl from the city. We despise you. Hurry up and leave." She took a sip on the ground, turned her head and entered the room, muttering loudly, "Fox spirit. You can smell it all over the place, and I don't know how many men have slept with it. How can you have the face to plot against me? Yes, shameless." Widow Chen made her very angry. She is a smart person and wants to marry a good one, so she pays the most attention on weekdays. She is full of airs and never laughs with ordinary farmers. Who doesn't say she is dignified? There are very few gossips in the village, and this is the first time someone has said it on their faces. Besides, how blind must she be to fall in love with Tang Sanchuer? A lump of panting rotten meat, what can I do? Only Mrs. Lu regarded him as a treasure. She flushed with anger, and wanted to go up and tear her mouth alive, but she did it by herself. She didn't understand the yelling. Widow Chen trembled angrily for a long time, but in the end she still didn't dare to make a fuss, turned her head and left angrily. She didn't know that Jian Shaoqing was a very cunning poisonous mushroom. It seems to be cured once it is treated. In fact, this is called a false recovery period. After a day or two, it will recur and worsen. Anyway, early in the morning, Tang Sanchuer was rambunctious, and Mrs. Lu was going crazy. In addition to these 2 days, she was already full of anger and complained, so there was no time to talk to her. At this moment, Tang Qingshan also returned home. Although the old patriarch is an old farmer in the countryside, he actually has his own wisdom. He didn't tell Tang Qingshan beforehand, but he told everyone when he went, "I made the decision to live in this place for the Qingshan family. Someone lived in this place before, and I have never seen anything. Qingshan lived in it. It was his own blessing to dig out a mystery on the first day. Besides, Qingshan built an ancestral hall and planted trees in the village. The favor of the boss is justified even if he doesn't give it to him, but Qingshan is benevolent and righteous, and he wants to divide the things, we took it with the cheek. But we discussed it, and we can't let him suffer. When the money is sold, Qingshan's family will get 10%, and the remaining 90% will be divided among the villagers. This, everyone has no opinion. The old patriarch is right, it doesn't matter if there is no distinction, everyone will say a few sour words behind their backs, and it's hard to say it in person. After all, building an ancestral hall is a sacrifice for the ancestors. If you are not grateful, isn't that forgetting your origin? Tang Qingshan was also a little surprised, but I have to say that he felt a lot better. He went home and told Mrs. Lin, and said, "The old patriarch also said that in addition to getting 10% of the silver, we can also get half of the money for Tai Sui, Wen Renjier and Xinbao." Before he finished a sentence, the little girl next to him leaned over and stretched out her hand to grab his arm. Tang Qingshan thought that his daughter wanted to hug him, so he hugged her with open arms, and continued, "I heard that this thing can cure all diseases and live forever. Want to try some?" Nai Tuanzi was in a hurry, supported his face with both hands, made him turn to look at him, and said, "Don't. Don't." Tang Qingshan was stunned. "What don't you want?" Nai Duanzi said, "Don't eat Tai Sui meat. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. Meat is bad." She shook her little head vigorously, and said extremely firmly, "I want money. The Tang family has only one room to live in right now, and they have nowhere to go." When they were discussing, Nai Tuanzi kept groping and listening quietly. Although Tai Sui was passed down as a magic medicine in ancient times, in fact, this thing is really inedible. It is an aggregate mixed with various bacteria, slime molds and fungi. Think about it. It is a serious thing, and no one will eat it. No. Tang Qingshan was amused by the girl's firm tone, and turned the little milk dumpling in his hand, without principle. "Okay, then I won't eat it, I want money." Brother Tang sighed. He felt that his father was too restless. How could he agree? This is the magic medicine that is legendary. However, that stuff looked so disgusting that he really dared to eat it, but he thought that his father and sister could eat some. No matter what, the Tang family just discussed it. When we arrived at the threshing ground for a meeting, there were really people who wanted meat, but there were only a dozen or so households here and there. It's not that I don't want to live forever, but the legend is just a legend after all. No one has tried it, and everyone is dubious. Besides, Yutong village is poor, and immortality is far away. After all, it is not as important as eating a few more meals in front of you. After cutting and dividing the meat, Tang Qingshan insisted on no meat, and moved the old patriarch so much that he couldn't stop praising him. Then Tang Qingshan and the patriarch's son, together with several elders and young men, carried Tai Sui to the county seat. Talking about business is Tang Qingshan's home field. He took a few clansmen directly to the largest drug store in the county, and skillfully negotiated prices with them. After adding 2 or 2, the atmosphere of swords and swords was revealed, and the other people were completely unable to intervene. After the final talk, the price was weighed, a total of 66 caddies, 32 taels per caddy, and a total of more than 2,000 taels of silver was sold, excluding 10% of the Tang family. The whole family in the village could divide more than 7 taels. The income of the farmer's family for 2 or 3 years. Several people are very happy. He came out with the silver and the deed, and hurried to the village. The patriarch's son looked at Tang Qingshan in front of him, and couldn't help muttering to his companions, "Tell me, brother Qingshan is so powerful. How rich are you?" Several other people thought it was true. Fortunately, they have lost their relatives, and they will be fine in the future. A man named Tang Shi couldn't help saying bitterly, "Of course, I picked up more than 200 taels of silver for nothing." As soon as he heard the bad words, an uncle named Tang Duanwu next to him scolded him, "What kind of fart? This money should belong to someone else. If no one else said it, your uncle lived in that courtyard, why didn't you see it? What did he dig out?" Tang Shi snorted, but did not dare to reply. Although Tang Duanwu is old, he is actually not that old, and he is only under 40. Seeing Tang Qingshan walking ahead quickly, as if he didn't hear anything, he thought that this is a smart person, and he couldn't help but he clicked on them and said, "Don't even think about it. If someone dug it up in the dark and sold it secretly, what would you know? People will be satisfied." Yes. Several people were dumb at that time. Only Tang Shi rubbed his fingers subconsciously, and stared at Tang Qingshan's back. End of this chapter. Portable space. The group favorite milk bag brings the whole family to open and hang. Chapter 10, Head of the Family Milk Dumpling. Chapter 10, The Head of the Family Milk Dumplings. The group returned to the village soon. After handing over the account to the old patriarch, they began to scramble to distribute the money, first giving Tang Qingshan to him. Tang Qingshan collected the money and went into the house, and said to the old patriarch, "Uncle, there happens to be such a Xiaozhonger. I want to buy a piece of land and start a house. It can be regarded as a decent house. When the time comes, I will use this house, return it to the clan." "The clan already has free homesteads, and you still want to buy them?" The old patriarch waved generously. "I will take you to measure a piece tomorrow. After the measurement, I will tell Li Zheng to go directly to the government to register your name. Son, the household registration booklet will be done for you, don't worry. Thanks to Tang Qingshan again and again. As soon as he got home, the little girl immediately opened her arms to him with a cute face. The corners of Tang Qingshan's mouth were slightly curved, and he handed over the money he got to his wife with one hand, and hugged his daughter with the other. Nai Duanzi hugged his face with both hands. Seeing that the sons were all around, the head of the family, Tang Qingshan, hit seriously. Nai Duanzi was in a hurry, and hugged her more seriously. She was really worried, because she was afraid that her father would steal Tai Sui meat outside. No, be sure to check it out. Her dark grape eyes were wide open, and she leaned over to look seriously. The majestic patriarch couldn't resist Nai Duanzi's enthusiasm, so he easily compromised and kissed his daughter. Suddenly kissed Nai Duanzi, All right. Papa is so handsome, surely he wouldn't steal it behind his back. So Nai Duanzi smiled at him reassuringly, his eyes were crooked, showing his small white teeth. This dumbfounded smile melted the heart of the old father. The old father was very serious, and kissed his daughter again, showing helplessness on his face and secretly refreshed in his heart. Well. My daughter loves me so much, what should I do? The next moment, his third son with a stick stood up and snatched his younger sister. He was extremely considerate. Father, you just came back. Are you tired? Let me hug my younger sister. The old father looked at his son and pursed his lips. But he didn't say anything, just sat down next to Mrs. Lin, and chatted with Mrs. Lin. I asked the old patriarch for a piece of homestead. Let's go and have a look tomorrow and pick a suitable one. The old patriarch said no money, but there is no need to take advantage of this small advantage, just buy it at the price of the family. I remember that my third uncle bought it last year, so I just took a little bit of it. 2 taels of silver per mu, we can't buy 2 or 3 mu of land at all. That's good. Lin Yangzi said, if you have a place of your own, your heart will be at ease. Brother Tang was very calm, and then said, as long as the contract is completed, we can build the house. We can't make bricks right now, but fortunately we have money, so let's just buy some bricks and build it quickly, shall we? Brother Tang said, I'm afraid of attracting people's attention. It's so eye-catching, Brother Tang said, this place is built, and it will definitely be able to live for many years. From now on, it will be our old house. Yes, Mrs. Lin also said, Fanner is right, I would rather attract people's attention than cover it up. Seriously, I will live for decades. Besides, with such a reason, everyone knows that if you earn money, spend it quickly instead of doing nothing. She turned her head and asked, the head of the house, do you think so? Nai Duanzi is very self-conscious as the head of the family, and nodded solemnly, yes. Ms. Lin was amused by her, and she was about to stretch out her arms to hug her. Brother Tang San couldn't bear to let go, and ran away holding her sister as if flying. Mrs. Lin glared at her son, but didn't grab it. She said, if you really want to build it, it will cost you a lot of money. Fanner sees that everyone has a house, and Xinbao is a girl's house, so you have to buy it. We have a boudoir, so we have to do our best to figure it out. Tang Qingshan thought for a while, let's find a masonry team to build it. Ask someone to draw us a picture. Ms. Lin said, don't you ask the villagers to help you build it? I'm looking for it too, Tang Qingshan said, but I'm also looking for the masonry team. After all, we don't have a decent place right now. Even if we find people from the village, it's a hassle to eat. It's better to go directly to the masonry team. It's fine, don't worry. Don't you think so? Nai Duanzi caught another thread, yes. The whole family laughed for a long time, and the whole room was full of joy. Early the next morning, Tang Qingshan went to find the old patriarch. Tang Yozhong, the eldest son of the old patriarch, took his family and Nai Duanzi along to pick a place. There are a lot of ready-made homesteads in the clan, which can be regarded as an unspoken rule. It is cheaper to buy homesteads from the clan without going through the government. 67 taels, when the time comes, it will be equivalent to a transfer of ownership, and there will also be a title deed. Walking down in a circle and looking at several pieces, Tang Qingshan turned to look at his family and asked with his eyes. Ms. Lin couldn't make up her mind, so she asked Nai Tuanzi, which piece of land does Xinbao like? Nai Tuanzi had been thinking seriously for a long time, and raised 3 fingers without hesitation, and said in a childish voice, remember 2 yuan. The teased people all laughed. Nai Tuanzi also found something wrong, and with the other hand, pressed down the extra little finger, and held up the 2 little hands together, remember 2 yuan. Ms. Lin couldn't help laughing, she reached out and hugged the milk dumpling. Xinbao likes the second one? Yes, Nai Tuanzi said solemnly, there is water, so raise fish. Several people immediately understood. The place is actually a bit remote. It is on the edge of the mountain. The advantage is that there is a small spring. But Yutong village has a lot of water, and there are many springs. It is easy to dig a well without springs. Didn't care. Since Nai Tuanzi liked it, Mrs. Lin looked back at Tang Qingshan. Tang Qingshan said directly, then the second piece. Tang Yozhong was looking at Xiao Tuanzi with a smile on his face, thinking about it, thinking that the little doll is obviously smart. Why does everyone in the village say that she is a fool because she can't speak? These old ladies just don't know what to say. Hearing this, he scratched his head, stop picking. I think this one is also good. I don't want to pick any more, Tang Qingshan said with a smile, Xinbao likes it, and the size of that piece is enough. Tang Yozhong followed them back to measure the land. He got his father's order, and originally wanted to give up more, but the land happened to be a little over 3 mu, which meant he didn't give up, and Tang Qingshan forced him to give him money. When Tang Yozhong went back, he asked his father to beat him up. The old patriarch felt sorry, so he became more active. On the same day, he and Li Zheng went to the county to get him the land deed and household registration booklet. Tang Qingshan also followed the ox cart to the city. He was going to resign both Mrs. Lin and Brother Tang's long-term employees after finishing the work, and then buy some straw mats and emergency pots and pans to come back. It's not that it's inflated, but that it's about to build a house. There is already a lot of work, and there are not enough people for it. There must be someone at home to cook. Brother Tang's health was not good. If it wasn't for the milk dumplings, why would the family work so hard? Even Brother Tang was limping, so he had to go to Lantern Workshop to do odd jobs every day. Thinking about it this way, it is really a good thing to be able to tear yourself apart from those people. The old house of the Tang family is at the entrance of the village. Seeing Tang Qingshan and the patriarch leaving the village in a bullock cart, Mrs. Lu spat on the ground, bah! A coffin that died early. While cursing, she felt a little happy in her heart. She hadn't worked for so many years, and Tang Sanshui was seriously ill again when the big house suddenly left, which really made her very tired. Besides, she was dismissed out of the blue, and she also felt ashamed, and didn't go out for 2 days, but thinking about Tang Qingshan's family, the farts were not taken away, and she was asked to come for the wages, and she still didn't know how to hold back band. Granny Lu felt a lot more comfortable in her heart. Deserved it. It's better for you to be poor. While muttering and cursing, Mrs. Hu, the neighbor to the west, saw her at a glance and came over with a smile. Hey, old sister, you don't know yet, do you? Mrs. Lu and Mrs. Hu have always been at odds, knowing that she is just here to see her jokes, so she rolled her eyes and was about to go in. Mrs. Hu raised her voice and yelled, your family's Qingshan is well developed. It's a pity, you are not from the Tang family, so you can't get involved. Granny Lu turned her head abruptly, what do you mean developed? End of this chapter.